Hi guys, welcome back to another Eurovoxx Live. We hope you're all doing really, really well. We, of course, are reacting to the Melodifestivalen results, the final tonight, where we will find out who will represent Sweden at this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be joined by Fred tonight. Fred, how are you doing?
Biting my nails.
You both.
I think it could be anyone at this point. Obviously, Marcus and Matthias obviously are leading the jury vote at the moment. And between fourth and sort of fifth place or sixth place, seventh. Good Lord, they're all very close in that.
They are.
26 points for Jay Smith.
Okay. Yeah, it's so close tonight. I just can't call it.
8 points for Dotter.
Oh gosh, I was expecting it to do better.
Yeah, I just think this was the worst of her entries, I'm afraid. 11 points for Lisa Ajax.
Heroes are calling. It's smashing pieces are full.
59 points for Smashed Into Pieces. That takes them into lead.
Happy that you found me med Danny Saucedo.
Oh.
40 points for Danny.
Climbing as well.
Oh, so he's not winning it tonight.
No.
Maria Sur har fått.
Marina Sur.
Swedish
35 points for Maria Sur.
Showing her gratitude, she's a sweetheart.
Liamo.
He's not nervous.
45 points for Liamo, which takes him into third.
Second highest so far.
Annika Vicky Halder.
25 points for Annika. This is my favorite. I'm hoping that the public got behind it.
She was fantastic tonight.
21 points.
Oh. Right, so I feel like it's Marcus and Martinez's to lose at this point, but we will see.
Agreed. 61 points for Medina, which will take them into first, but very small lead.
Yeah.
This is the current situation.
Oh, this is so exciting.
So Medina is in the lead.
Okay.
Neither Cassiopeia or Marcus and Martinez have received their points from the Swedish public.
Yeah, these two acts are still.
Oh,
I love that you've got the English commentary. I didn't have that here.
oh yes,
I'm
yes.
trying to follow along in Swedish.
Yeah, no, I've watched it with the English commentary for the last couple of years, and it's like, actually, Will is doing it from Wee Wee.
Oh, that's handy. Yeah. Here we go.
Second to last act to receive its points is Cassiopeia. Give my heart a break. Med Cassiopeia she receives
41 points. Takes her into third.
Into third place, very respectable.
Det är som nu det kommer att avgöras. So this is when we will know when it will decide.
Well, I think it's pretty much a given. I mean, because they would have to have come sort of like seventh in the televote to have lost, and I don't think that's going to be possible.
Oh, they look so nervous.
To win, they need at least 20 points. They need at least 20 points to win.
Seems realistic.
Who will it be? Medina or Marcus and Martinez? Swedish public has chosen to give unforgettable by Marcus Martinez.
92
Do it.
points. Yeah.
They won. Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, they pretty much matched their televote as sorry, the jury vote as well. So
Oh,
they were top. They were
fantastic.
top with both.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh, goodness me.
it was a runaway. They were top with juries, top with the public. So
Yes,
I mean, they did come second last year, and
exactly.
for some fans that don't know, their song actually won the Second Chance contest.
Okay, yeah.
So what OGA fan clubs do? They put the second choice song up for sort of a Eurovision style vote, and they
Yeah,
actually won. So it was actually quite interesting, the fact that Sweden won and their backup song also won as well. So
yes.
it just shows you that the quality is there. They're still delivering. They're still, making sure that they're going to be at the top of the trophy cabinet, now that they've sort of up there with Ireland. So yeah, it's it's theirs for the taking. I think it was the most professional song of the night. It
Yeah,
was heavily. I mean, because it looked like a music video.
it did.
Um,
I always find
um,
this when you can watch like a performance and kind of forget that it's a live performance and you feel like you're watching a film or a music video. That's when it's really something special.
exactly.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So there we have it, guys. Marcus and Martinez have won Melodifestivalen 2024 and are representing Sweden at this year's contest. Oh, that is amazing. And I just love it when artists come back after like national final after national final. However, like Marcus and Martinez have done. And, against all odds, they've won it this time. And I'm so happy to see them do it. And they're going to be representing Sweden in their own country now. So it's just amazing. Oh, we've got so many comments coming in. Guys, thank you so much for getting involved. Let us know your favorites tonight, what you thought of tonight's show, and what you think of tonight's winners. We have Rye Bailey, M&M will win. Well, in fact, they did.
They have.
By a landslide, by it seems, in the jury and televote. We've got DJ Paro, the official. Hey, Sarah. The twins did it. They certainly did. And then we've got Bubble Pirate. Their entry last year, Air, was much better. Okay, so I didn't actually tune into last year. This has actually been my first time of tuning into all of the national finals. So It's been a whirlwind, but it's been amazing. But no, I absolutely love this song, Unforgettable. I think it's an amazing entry. Amazing. Oh, right. Where do we unpack? There's so much to unpack with tonight's national final.
Absolutely.
Fred, how do you feel? Have you been tuning into the 5 heats leading up to this final?
Absolutely.
Yes. And was this kind of the final lineup you were hoping for? And what did you think of tonight's show overall?
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of songs that I was sorry to see go early on, but I think it was a very strong final. I thought, like a lot of the public or the international public, felt that the second chance round at the end of the fifth semi-final was a bit unfair because obviously the two that were chosen were actually in the fifth semi-final, so they were the most recent. So it was. I guess it was fresh in people's minds. So if you were chosen, obviously at the beginning, like Adam Woods was, he was sort of forgotten about, from 5 weeks
Absolutely.
earlier. So yeah, it just that was a shame, but it still meant that we had some really strong. It was a strong final. It wasn't clear who was going to win.
No.
It was completely up for debate because obviously the odds obviously had Marcus and Martinez obviously winning, and Jacqueline coming in second. Jacqueline didn't do as well as we had hoped. She didn't get the love with a lot of the international jury. Thankfully, she got some love towards the end, which obviously put her up into fourth place. But it's a difficult one to say, because obviously the other major artist that obviously everyone thought was going to take it was Medina. Their stage show was amazing. You couldn't fault the fact. I mean, they had every pyrotechnic that you could possibly think of thrown at it. It wasn't my type of song, but I would 100% would understand why people got behind it. It was a party. You couldn't help but bop along and get involved. But I think we've had a really good result.
I completely agree. What I love tonight is the variety that we had. I felt like there wasn't many ballads in there tonight. We had Lisa Ajax, was it?
Yeah, Ajax.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she did incredible in her performance, but I feel like it was the bops tonight almost that stuck out more in tonight's lineup. And yeah, I have to just take my hat off to, I know they do it every year, but the Melodifestivalen and SVT for this final, like the staging and the whole vibe in the arena just looked absolutely insane. I don't know about you, it just got me so excited for May.
Yes. Because again, if you've never been to a Melfest final, it's actually bigger than Eurovision. It's sort of twice the audience that you would expect at Eurovision, and that sort of blows people's minds. In the venue that they put it in, it's a massive sort of hockey venue that they only they only use sort of a small chunk of it. Because obviously all of the back of houses, the dressing rooms and all of the equipment and everything. But it's amazing. It is 100% the best national final I've ever attended. And if you've been to Eurovision, you need to see Melfest to sort of compare the two. And this is why I think Sweden are one of the best at hosting the contest, because they put such a lot of effort into their own. They know how to deal with large audiences, and they welcome the fans in the cities. I had been to some host countries before where you don't even know that Eurovision's happening. It's sort of like a secret.
Very good point.
And in Sweden, that's never the case. It's nonstop party.
Absolutely, yeah, and we love Eurovision for that, and we love Sweden for that. It's interesting you said about like where you can go to a host city sometimes and you can not know that it's happening. I think with Liverpool last year, they did a very good job at making sure Eurovision was happening. But like you said, Sweden, like as much as you might want a new country, people might want a new country to win Eurovision, to give someone else a chance. You can't deny how good Sweden is at hosting the contest. And we've already seen from the stage renders for MALMÖ, it just looks incredible, doesn't it? So I just can't wait to see how they're gonna stage it. Of course, we've got Christian Bjorkman, who is at the head of everything. So I'm sure he will have everything organized and in place. Oh my goodness, my head's in a whirlwind after that show. It's amazing. So of course, LOREEN won last year. So in terms of, I think there was a bit of anticipation of how hard Sweden were going to go in terms of, right, are they going to try and win the contest again? Are they going to take it as seriously now that they've won it? Or are they going to take it a little bit more safe? But I think after tonight's final that they had renowned artists that have been there before. And tonight's lineup was just incredible. Where do you think, in terms of the competition that we've got now with Marcus and Martinez, obviously automatically qualifying to the grand final?
100%.
Yeah,
obviously, because they're obviously because the host country, obviously. But even if they had to go through a qualifying round, I think they would qualify anyway. But I think this is top 10 for sure, and it's potentially top 5. So it's like I said before, the performance is like a video. You sort of lose yourself in it, and in that small amount of staging that they put on, it takes on lots of different angles and things. It actually gave me Benjamin Ingrosso vibes from a few years ago. Obviously, his was very much horizontal, where theirs is a much more vertical representation. So, but it feels like a very similar type of light show and things along those lines. But I think the dancers and the whole package that they put together, I think really works for them, and I think will do them very well in MALMÖ.
I completely agree. I think there's not an awful lot they need to change. I'm sure they will find a way to elevate this for the MALMÖ stage, but honestly, they've had the experience of being in an even bigger audience now. They sounded amazing. Their costumes were just so slick, and the staging was on another level. So I'm so happy that they're going to be representing Sweden. Honestly, I think they'll do Sweden proud for sure. Oh my goodness. Let's go into the comments. So many people getting involved. Okay, Bubble Pirate, what's your favorite all-time Swedish entry? I love 2014. Very interesting question. Oh my gosh. I like Undo, Sanna Nielsen. Yeah, 2014, exactly.
100%.
Yeah. And I think also obviously Tattoo last year. Like, it's just on another level.
Yeah. I mean, LOREEN is her stuff is very professional. Obviously, she did try and represent Sweden 2 times before, in between obviously the wins. A lot of people forget. Years.
Something like that.
But yeah,
sometime.
There were 2 separate ones, and they both didn't do very well. So, but when she finds the right song, it just clicks, because she can give that stage presence and really sort of deliver it. But 100%, I love Undo. It was her 9th attempt at representing Sweden, and I was so happy that she finally got a chance to. It's one of my favorites, but I'm a slogger boy at heart, so actually my entries actually go way back to, like, you probably won't even remember, but Fame was one of my all-time favorite songs. It was 2004, I believe. But
gosh, yeah, just before I tuned in stuff from 2005 onwards, so it's just before.
But yeah,
no, I'm sure.
But it one of those, if put it on, it's Sweden to a T. It's 100%. But yeah, no, it's just I love everything Sweden does. Occasionally they choose something that I wouldn't necessarily back, but it's always done with quality. So
yeah, absolutely, I completely agree. I think that the way they staged this Melfest, the whole semi-finals, and again, they're not having it in the same arena. Every heat is in a different arena across Sweden, and every show is spectacular. So the fact that they can just deliver this time after time again, I think, again, we've been to Sweden quite a bit now, and we go back and people feel a certain way about that sometimes, but you can't deny that it'll inspire other countries as well when they get the chance to host the contest, that they'll know how it should be done. And it, clearly in my mind, when Sweden host the contest 2013, that staging, incredible. The concept behind it, We Are One, the butterfly, and then we have 2016 come together and that futuristic staging. And then now in 2024, we have something completely different again. We have a central stage that is, is supposed to have technical sides of it that we've never seen before in Eurovision, which is just so exciting. I feel like Sweden is the country that keeps the contest evolving. And I think that's important for us to come back to such an amazing country for it to host. So yeah, oh my goodness, there were so many incredible performances tonight. We'll just deep into the comments because there's so many. We've got AMRA. To be honest, Sweden should have replaced Germany in the Big Five. I mean, the enthusiasm and the effort is more in Sweden than in Germany. I mean, fair enough. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Sweden were in the top five for sure. The Big Five, sorry. We've got Cinnamilly, I'm gutted for Medina. We've got Lujika. Hello, guys. Who won? Guys, if you are just tuning in now, tonight's winners of Melodifestivalen were Marcus and Martinez with their song Unforgettable. We've got RJ. I'm very happy that with Marcus and Martinez. So we've got so many people happy about tonight's result. Wow. Okay. So, Fred, my next question for you is, if it wasn't going to be Marcus and Martinez tonight, who would you have liked to have seen represent Sweden? Who was your next favorite?
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, my my favorite song of the contest was "Effortless" by Jacqueline. I've just pulled up the official votes, but she's finished in 9th place overall. Because she got such a low televote. She only got 21 points. But I from the first time I heard the song, I just thought it just sounded like a bop. It was I was instantly singing along. It was it felt like it was polished and ready to go. And it was like I was watching something on MTV type aspect. It was it felt like it was something that it sort of gave me, well, again, this is going back years back, but it gave me Samantha Mumba vibes from years ago.
That is ringing a bell, actually.
she was the Irish Britney, I guess. But yeah, so I think it's a shame that she didn't do well. She came second in the odds. So it's the fact that she didn't. She only came 4th in the juries and only got 21 points from the televote. Meant she only came in 9th overall. But it's really so. Obviously, Medina came in 2nd with 104 points, but that was way behind Marcus and Martinez, which was 177. So massive difference. But and 3rd, which I'm actually quite happy that they finished 3rd, which was Smashed into Pieces.
Yes, exactly.
So they sort of came out of nowhere. They got to a reasonably high televote of 59 points, only 2 points behind Medina with the televote. So they came in 3rd overall.
Yeah, it's funny you mention about with the later heats and like the second chance round about things being fresh in people's minds, because watching tonight's show, we've been absolutely crazy with national finals this season. So
of course,
I actually haven't tuned in to many of the heats of Melodifestivalen, but I religiously watched tonight. And I'll be honest, Danny Suedo at the end, he kind of like his performance, I don't know whether it's because it was the last one, but that kind of made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, and I was a bit like, oh, maybe he'll get it. But he didn't end up doing as well in the result, did he? It was more mid-place finishing, I think.
Yeah, he finished 6th overall. Only got 40 points from the televote and 34 points from the juries. I think Danny, it wasn't his strongest song that he's ever entered, and the staging for it, I think, is what let it down. It unfortunately, with some of the staging that came across tonight, if you're going to compare it to what we were seeing from other contestants, it just, if he thought he could win with that staging, unfortunately, I think that's hurt his placing. That's my thoughts behind it, but it's very interesting that Daughter came last.
I was shocked about that because I got the vibe that she was a real favorite tonight. But yeah, no, it's interesting you say about previous songs that artists have entered with, because of obviously the televote. This is the Swedish public voting as well, so they will remember the past songs that artists have put. Eurovision fans will. So that I feel of course, with that being said, there is a pressure on the artist as well when they do return to bring something bigger and better than they've done before, and that it must be a huge pressure. And obviously, if they end up getting selected by the broadcaster, that's it, isn't it? They've got to just go for it. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's super interesting. I always find it interesting with when all the songs are released, especially for Eurovision at the moment, because the odds are going crazy or changing as they do. But we know as soon as we get to MALMÖ and we get those first rehearsals, things will shift again. So it's very, very interesting. And we will jump into that a little bit more. We'll just see some more comments because thank you so much, guys. You're really getting involved tonight. We've got Rai Bailey, Cassiopeia, Give My Heart a Break was the second favourite. Yeah, Fred mentioned that. Super interesting.
She came fourth.
Yes. We've got Connor John. Jacqueline's song was as Swedish and generic as everything else. I'm not surprised that it flopped. Interesting. We've got Lola Dallas. Hey, Lola. Hi, I just jumped on. Who won? It was Marcus and Martinez who won tonight. And we've got Larindi. The winner was as inevitable as LOREEN last year. It seems that I am literally thankful for Sweden that I can save my votes for other countries. They don't need to qualify, luckily for them. Interesting. I mean, I think, again, I didn't tune into the whole of Melfest last year, but I feel like LOREEN was a given last year with their song in the final. And of course, we saw at Eurovision, it was like a landslide, wasn't it, in terms of her ending result.
She won. I must say, I don't think it was as landslide as Marcus and Matthias's result. I have to look it up. But obviously, they came second last year with their song Air. And do have a listen. It is a really good song. But I think you made a very good point that people do compare from previous songs. So yeah, Doctor obviously and Danny, when their names were mentioned as participants, obviously they were top in the odds because again they had brought really quality songs previously, but it's down to SVT who sings what. So even though an artist might write a song, doesn't necessarily mean they get to perform it. It's down to SVT to match that up. Obviously, there's always an advantage if you have co-written a song that you have an aspect of something to relate to and be able to perform to that song. And you probably have performed the demo as well. So, but it is quite interesting the way they do it. But yeah, all of the apart from Marcus Martinez and Medina, all of the returning acts have finished lower than previous results. Liamo coming fifth, Danny coming sixth, Maria coming seventh, Lisa Ajax coming 11th. Smashed in Pieces obviously came third, which is I think exactly they came third last year as well, I believe. Yeah. So
absolutely. How do you, in terms of previous Melodifestivalen finals, how does this place in terms of like your favorite or maybe the one that you were at? How did you find tonight's competition in terms of previous Melodifests?
So it when you're there, it's a completely different atmosphere. You lose yourself and you almost you lose the fact of what's actually happening because there's so much going on. But being at home and watching it on the television, you can see all aspects of what's happening, and you get to see the votes coming in and things like that, where it's obviously not as easy to hear in the venue. But I actually prefer the contest where you don't know who the winner is going to be. It's if there's a runaway favorite, it sort of takes the fun out of the element of it. So I prefer contests where it could be a handful of people that could take it away. So I prefer years like this to when LOREEN obviously participated last year. It was sort of a given that she was going to win. So it's really nice not to know who the winner is going to be ahead of time. Yes, they were the favourites, but they gave the performance, and they obviously were backed by both the jury and the televote.
Yeah.
So
I completely agree. Oh my gosh. Yeah, last year it was, I feel like last year was an incredible year for the quality of artists that we had. Before last year, I could never have imagined a situation where LOREEN would have come back. She'd won the contest. She'd done everything she needed to do. What was the reason for her to come back? But she did. And she not only won, but with one of the most iconic entries, that Tattoo is just, it's just a masterpiece, and it's been on the top of everyone's top Spotify plays of last year. But no, it's super interesting you say that, because I think I'm finding this season more exciting so far, because we have some incredible songs, goes without saying, but it could be anyone's at this point. There are about 10 or more songs that, depending on the staging, they could definitely take it. And that brings me on to my next question. Who is your top 3 at the moment, or who are you hoping that will win and have the best staging to be able to do that?
Okay. My favorite still at the moment is Austria. 100% a raver.
We share the same feeling.
Again, I've reserved judgment because I still haven't seen a live yet. I have listened to her album of other songs and things, and I'm actually quite surprised I hadn't come across her before. So I'm 100% happy to see her, and I want to live that performance, because it's just 100% a Eurovision song, and I really want to see it come down in the venue. I think I will have Sweden in number 2. It's of the slickness of the entries, and the song is going to be unforgettable. So it's I think they're going to do really, really well. And third for me, I think it might be a dark horse like Switzerland. It's really quite an interesting number with lots of different genres sort of thrown together. A very interesting artist that we haven't seen from a Swiss style before. I mean, they normally send a male ballad, and it's definitely not that. So I think it's going to be quite interesting. I mean, it's been a long time since Switzerland have done really well, but I think this could be a turning point for them.
Do you think it could do as well as, thank you. Do you think it could do as well as Jean's Tears?
Potentially.
On the code.
I think it could, yeah. I think it could, because it's that bit different. Of all the songs that we have coming through at the moment, there's not a massive amount of ballads and things like. So I'd say the majority of the songs that are coming through are the sort of more mid to high tempo sort of songs. So these ones are going to be a little bit different and stand out. So I think it's your Norway, because Gatte again will stand out because it's very different. I think
Norway's a dark horse this year.
Even potentially Australia. It's not my cup of tea, but it's a little bit different. I mean, Electric Dreams have been a fan favorite for a little while now, since they performed in the national selection. But I think anything just that little bit different, I think will help them stand out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. So my top 3 at the moment, we share the same number 1, Austria. Colleen, We Will Rave. I'm a bot boy. I love my dance music anyway, but this just... I'm speechless. It's one of those performances I can see on the Eurovision stage already. And it's not just that, it's the fact that Colleen has been in so many behind the scenes roles as well at Eurovision. She, of course, was creative stage director at Junior Eurovision in 2021 and 2022. and she was a stand-in rehearsal act for so many countries for 2018, including Eleni Ferreira and Fuego. So I think I've got total confidence that she can command that stage. And she's literally been on a Eurovision stage, multiple Eurovision stages before.
Well, yes, absolutely. Just fingers crossed.
Just the vocal. It's just the vocal. But no, I really hope it works in their favour. And I will be in that semi-final live show watching that. So I can't wait for that. But yeah, that's my number one. My number two right now, I'm still holding on to Baby Lasagna and Rimsim Tagi Dim. I think the fact that it's got that kind of carrier quality craziness, but then also has a good message behind it about Croatian tradition and growing up in Croatia and going out and finding yourself. It really, it's admirable, and I think Baby Lasagna, the way he commands the stage as well. I think it's really interesting. And then my number three, it just tosses between so many different countries, but at the moment it's Ramonda and Teodora. I think that it's a dark horse this year. And I think that, again, the message behind that song, it's reverting back to the leader, Ramonda Flower, rising like from the ashes. It's just got so much deep meaning about it, so much, deep thought to Serbia as well, that I think it deserves to do really well. And we got a little glimpse in the national final. The floor LEDs kind of reminded me of Jamala's 1944. That kind of impactfulness. So the idea that can be elevated for the Eurovision stage is I think it's got a good chance. But like we've discussed, I think it's wide open, and I think it's going to be exciting whatever this year for sure. But we can't neglect our live chat because we've got so many messages. Just got back from the final. It was, oh my gosh, you were there. Mark Bogard, well done, the twins. I hope you had an amazing time, Mark. I know quite a few people who were in that audience tonight, and I am very jealous. So hope you had an amazing time. We've got Darren Crozal. Have you heard UK Live? It's fab. Yes, I watched it on the One Show on BBC yesterday. And yeah, he sounded great. So yeah, happy at the moment. Interesting to see what they'll do with the staging with Ollie and his song Dizzy. But, we will see. Like I say, it's wide open this year. So we will just have to see what happens. We've got Bubble Pirate. I think Ukraine, Croatia, or Switzerland will win the contest. I would agree with that. Yeah, 100%. I think that Ukraine is still very high in the odds, and that song Teresa Maria is beautiful. But it was quite an early reveal. So
it is, yeah,
similar to France. That came up. That was incredible. But I think we've had it for a long time now, so I think it's going to take some extra special staging to win people over for sure. But yeah, there we have it for now. What I would like to ask you next, Fred, is do you think, because we've got so many televote favourite entries this year, do you think there's a chance that the jury favourites will end up winning the contest, or do you think it will still be in the hands of the televote favourites?
It obviously has the potential to do that, but when there isn't a runaway winner, the jury votes tend to hold a lot more weight because obviously they can be split. But it goes to see, because obviously some things that we think the jury will love, they don't grab onto, which is really quite interesting. So it's just how they interpret the performances, and if it hits home for them. For instance, I don't think Croatia will go down all that well with juries. It will do well with the public. It just, it reminds me of Crazy Frog.
Okay. I see it.
And that's every time I hear it, that's the only thing I can think of, and it just I can't get it out of my head. But there's lots of different things that I think there's not many that I think cross both paths at the moment. There's they'll do either really well with the televote or really well with the juries. So I guess it's going to be that middling. So whoever finds that right sort of middling, because if they're in the top sort of 10, and then potentially are also in the top 10, and then it you know, they counter out each other, then they could potentially win. So it may be the first contest where actually the winner isn't actually the winner of the televote or the juries.
That would be super.
So it'd be obviously that will cause a lot of uproar, but
what doesn't? What result doesn't?
Eurovision is all about drama, so
it is.
They do love their drama. So, but yeah, I mean, but I think that'd be really quite interesting to see.
Absolutely. I think this year is wide open. We have so many quality entries, and I think that the fact that I think we have all of the Caucasus regions to go, don't we? We have Armenia, we have Georgia, Azerbaijan to reveal their songs. Is there any more that we have, Fred?
Well, obviously, I know Portugal's tonight.
Portugal, of course, right now.
But I've lost track. I have a full-time job.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So, but I must say, trying to keep up with the national finals is 100% a struggle.
It's an Olympic sport.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So, my hats go off to all the guys that able to find the time and the money to be able to go out to as many as possible.
Yes.
But I mean, I 100% would love to be there, but you gotta live. And I've got to say, for Sweden in May, because again, Sweden's not cheap.
Will you be there, Fred?
Of course I will be.
Oh, amazing. So will I. Yeah, honestly, this is my first year tuning into all of the national finals as well. And as much as it's been a whirlwind, after Liverpool last year, I made it my goal to just be involved as possible. And a huge joy of that has been becoming part of Eurovoxx, and becoming part of a team of like-minded people who love Eurovision and share the same passion as me. So yeah, as much as it's been a whirlwind, I'm just so grateful to be amongst it all. And it's just made the whole process so exciting. Especially in the UK, our winters are dreary. So it's made my December, January and February so much more joyous. So yeah, thank you, Eurovoxx. I've got to give a shout out to Harry, because he's done some amazing interviews at Melfest tonight.
Yeah.
Go and check them out on the page, because he's interviewed the likes of Luna, Saba, Jorge Gonzalez from Benidorm Fest. There's so many. He's absolutely smashed it. So go and check those out, guys. And I think we will wrap this up soon, but we will just dive into our final thoughts of our comments, because thank you so much for guys for getting involved tonight. There's been so many comments tonight. We've got Gilles. Last year's were much better. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, but fair enough. We've got Leo, Nemo. I see you. We see them as well. Oh, we love Nemo, and I think they are going to really slay that stage in MALMÖ this May. Okay. Oh. We've got FF. Okay, that's just a response to somebody else. And a final comment, Bubble Pirate. The best twins will be for always Jedward. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Fair enough. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that was a good comparison. But my final question for you, Fred, back to Marcus and Martinez, our winners of Melodifestivalen 2024. Where are they finishing in the Eurovision final for you right now?
I think they could very easily be top 5. I almost guarantee it will be top 10. It's I think it's an act that's going to do well with the juries. I don't think it's going to run away with the juries. I think it will do well, but I think they'll do extremely well within the televote. So
yeah, I completely agree. I think this will definitely be top 10, and I think that they will kind of elevate things and make things more polished and concise for that MALMÖ stage. And yeah, I can see this being top 5, top 10 for sure. Yeah. Oh, but there we have it, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who's tuned in into the comments. We really, really appreciate it. Fred, thank you so much for joining me for this live. And that is our final day of national finals. It has been such a journey. But no, we have so much still to look forward to. We'll be in Eurovision. It will be the semi-final 2 in exactly 2 months' time. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for all of our lives coming up, because we're not just done yet. So thank you so much, guys.
We've got the preview parties to go. So yeah, there's plenty to go, plenty to go.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you guys so much. And we will really look forward to seeing you all next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.